Hey, what's up, good people? It's Rob Lee. I want you to look at a couple videos. The first video is going to be of Mayor Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg, of how he reacts to a Category 2 hurricane relatively close to New York City. The second video, 2 and 3, is of two meteorologists. And I want you to see how they ignore and they do everything they can to dance around a hurricane called Aaron of 2001, September 2001. I want you to think about this. On September the 11th, 2001, the day of the so-called terror attacks, and when I say terror attacks, not that there wasn't an attack, but who was behind the attack and how did it happen? There was a Category 3 massive storm off the coast of New York City, and it was not reported on. Just think about that. Let's go to the videos. Now I want you to watch Bloomberg of how he reacts when a Category 2 storm is close to New York City. And I want you to notice the two weathermen, how they dance around Hurricane Aaron. One will not even mention it, and the other simply makes light of it because they had orders. They had orders. You know, people, whenever you look at weather maps on the TV, the schematic images will always show you the weather off the coast. There was no hurricane, okay, being reported, but yet you had a massive hurricane right off the coast of New York City and it was not reported on. Let's watch the videos and then we'll come back and we'll finish it up.
We are today issuing a mandatory, I repeat the word mandatory, evacuation order for all New Yorkers who live in the low-lying Zone A coastal areas in all 5 boroughs that are at greatest risk of damage relating to Irene. And we're adding to that the rest of the Rockaways, some of which are not Zone A but are Zone B. Health Commissioner Tom Farley will be working with seniors' homes and nursing homes and the 2 hospitals that are in the Zone B part of the Rockaways to try to find alternative sites for their residents.
We're going to have just a beautiful day today. This is a real cold front, folks. That means this is a boundary line of the very cool, dry air, and it is going to make its way well offshore, help to push Hurricane Aaron up to the north. It's not going to affect us at all.
Kids, on this Tuesday, the night of the Latin Grammys. Sunny skies down through Texas, all the way from the bottom of Texas to the top of North Dakota. Little rain to the right of North Dakota. Parts of North Dakota may see a little rain. To the west of the country, no problem. To the east of the country, no problems except down in Florida, little rain. Northeast, we'll see little rough seas along the New England coastline from that hurricane that's going away. Miles and miles of sun.
All right, good people. So you can see that that's how Bloomberg reacted. And that would be the proper way to react. You do what you have to do to protect the people. And you also notice the 2 guys. One guy will not even mention it. Major hurricane, Category 3, traveling in a straight line toward New York City with a population of 25 million people. And the weatherman simply talks about that hurricane. You see, you don't have to go into bombs and all this other stuff about explosions, direct energy, thermite, what brought down the towers. If you really want to bust these son of a bitches out, you got to go to the other things. You see, you have to use the knowledge that the Father gives you. I'm telling you, there was a Category 3 hurricane off the coast of New York City on September the 11th, 2001, and it was not mentioned. It was not talked about. This was for 4 days, from September the 7th till September the 11th, a Category 3 hurricane was travailing in a straight line toward New York City, and it was not reported on. Hurricane Aaron was as big as Hurricane Katrina. And folks, hurricanes rarely head straight for New York City. And the corporate media news outlets did not even warn the people that Hurricane Aaron was hitting for such a densely populated city. Astonishingly, even more, is that Hurricane Aaron, when it reached its closest point to New York City on the morning of September the 11th, the same time at the attacks, of the so-called attacks, it did a 150-degree right-angle turn away from its straight line of trajectory and hit it out into sea. It's widely known, people, that the corporate news channels will hype up storms and milk it for all it's worth. You've all seen it. They make a mockery of it. It's a Super Bowl, millions and millions of dollars of advertising is brought in, people treat it like a TV show. That's what the naive people do. They love it. They can't get enough of it. So, if Hurricane Aaron had continued on its path, New York City would have had a Category 3 storm to contend with and the so-called attacks. Now, there's a couple scenarios here. Could the storm have been used to stare? Was the storm being used to possibly make the disaster on the September the 11th worse? I don't know. Was the storm driven out into the ocean because it would have messed up the attacks? I don't know. All I do know is this. No matter how you slice it, there was a Category 3 hurricane sitting off the coast of New York City, and it took a sharp right-hand turn and avoided New York City and the tri-state areas. Now, no matter how you want to, debate or research 9/11, if you want to really get into it, start right there. Start right there. Because the same son of a bitches that drove this hurricane off into the Atlantic are the same ones that brought down the towers. In my humble opinion, Aaron was just like Sandy, Irma, and so many more. This is demonic technology, because when you can control the weather, people have told you, we need 3 things. We need air, water, and food. When you can control the climate, when you can control the weather, you control all 3 things. I don't know the true intentions of Aaron. Only the monsters behind it do, and my Almighty Father. But I do know that my Father has given me enough knowledge and discernment to know that the monsters behind it, I know their intentions. Pure evil. Because they are pure evil, because they are a doomed creation. Doomed! You cannot be saved. Doomed! Thank you guys for watching. God bless you.